A court for global justice understanding the ICC and its mandate. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, stands as a beacon of hope for victims of the most heinous crimes imaginable. It is a symbol of the international community's commitment to justice and accountability. Established in 2002, the ICC represents the culmination of decades of international efforts to end impunity for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crime of aggression. This establishment marked a significant milestone in the global pursuit of justice. The court's founding treaty, the Rome Statute, reflects the collective conscience of humanity, a commitment to hold perpetrators accountable for atrocities that shock the world. It is a testament to the international community's resolve to prevent such crimes from occurring again. Based in The Hague, Netherlands, the ICC operates independently of any nation-state, drawing its legitimacy from the 123 countries that have ratified the Rome Statute. This broad support underscores the global consensus on the importance of the court's mission. The court's jurisdiction is limited to crimes committed after its establishment, and only when national courts are unwilling or unable to prosecute. This ensures that the ICC does not overstep its mandate and respects the sovereignty of national judicial systems. This principle of complementarity underscores the ICC's role as a court of last resort, intervening only when justice is beyond the reach of domestic systems. It acts as a safety net for victims when national courts fail to deliver justice. The ICC's mandate is clear: to ensure that the most serious crimes of international concern do not go unpunished. It aims to bring justice to victims and hold those responsible accountable for their actions. Prosecutors at the ICC investigate allegations of genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crime of aggression, building cases against individuals deemed most responsible for these atrocities. Their work is meticulous and often involves gathering evidence from conflict zones. From the horrors of Darfur to the brutal conflicts in the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Central African Republic, the ICC has pursued justice for victims in some of the world's most volatile regions. These efforts highlight the court's commitment to addressing the most egregious violations of human rights. Its investigations and prosecutions serve not only to hold perpetrators accountable, but also to deter future atrocities and promote respect for international law. By doing so, the ICC plays a crucial role in maintaining global peace and security, ensuring that justice prevails. A legacy of distrust. The US and the ICC, a rocky relationship. Despite its noble aspirations, the ICC has faced its share of criticism and challenges since its inception. Established to prosecute individuals for crimes like genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, the court was envisioned as a beacon of international justice. One of the most persistent sources of tension has been the United States' complex and often adversarial relationship with the court. This relationship has been marked by a series of highs and lows, reflecting broader geopolitical dynamics and domestic political considerations. While the US played a significant role in the negotiations leading to the Rome Statute, it ultimately declined to ratify the treaty, citing concerns over national sovereignty and the potential for politically motivated prosecutions against American citizens. This decision was influenced by fears that the court could be used to challenge US military and diplomatic actions around the world. The U.S. reluctance to embrace the ICC stems from a deep-seated belief in its own exceptionalism and a fear that the court could be used as a tool to target American service members and officials operating abroad. This belief is rooted in the notion that the US has a unique role to play on the global stage, one that should not be constrained by international legal bodies. This skepticism has been a constant throughout different administrations, with both Democratic and Republican presidents expressing reservations about the ICC's reach and authority. The bipartisan nature of this skepticism underscores the deep-rooted concerns within the US political establishment about ceding any measure of control to an international institution. The George W. Bush administration, deeply wary of international institutions, took a particularly hostile stance towards the ICC, actively seeking to undermine its legitimacy and influence. This included efforts to secure bilateral immunity agreements with other countries to protect US citizens from ICC jurisdiction. The Obama administration, while more open to engagement with the international community, remained cautious about embracing the court, opting for a policy of selective cooperation. This approach reflected a desire to balance international collaboration with the protection of US interests. This long-standing distrust laid the groundwork for the Trump administration's even more confrontational approach to the ICC, culminating in the imposition of unprecedented sanctions against the court and its officials in 2020. These actions were justified on the grounds of protecting U.S. sovereignty and preventing what the administration saw as politically motivated investigations. The Afghan investigation, igniting the Trump administration's fury. The Trump administration's decision to sanction the ICC was a dramatic escalation of the U.S. long-standing tensions with the court. The catalyst for this unprecedented move was the ICC's decision to open an investigation into alleged war crimes committed in Afghanistan, including by U.S. military personnel and intelligence officials. The ICC's investigation, authorized by the court's judges in 2020, focused on allegations of torture, cruel treatment, and outrages upon personal dignity committed by all sides in the Afghan conflict, including the Taliban, Afghan government forces, and U.S. troops and intelligence operatives. The investigation sent shockwaves through Washington, with the Trump administration condemning it as a politically motivated attack on American sovereignty and a threat to U.S. national security. The Trump administration argued that the ICC had no jurisdiction over American citizens, as the U.S. was not a party to the Rome Statute. They further claimed that the investigation was baseless and politically motivated, designed to tarnish the reputation of the U.S. military and undermine the ongoing peace negotiations with the Taliban. The ICC's decision to proceed with the investigation, despite strong U.S. opposition, infuriated the Trump administration, setting the stage for a series of retaliatory measures designed to punish the court and deter further scrutiny of American actions in Afghanistan. Section 4. Trump's hammer blow sanctions against the ICC and its officials. In a move that stunned the international community, the Trump administration announced sweeping sanctions against the ICC in June 2020. This decision sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles and raised numerous questions about the future of international justice. These sanctions, authorized by an executive order signed by President Trump, targeted key ICC officials, including then-Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda and Fakiso Mochochoko, the head of the court's jurisdiction, complementarity, and cooperation division. The move was seen as a direct attack on the court's ability to function independently and effectively. The sanctions imposed by the Trump administration were wide-ranging and severe, freezing any assets held by the targeted ICC officials within U.S. jurisdiction and barring them from entering the United States. This not only affected their personal lives but also hampered their professional duties and the court's operations. The administration also threatened to impose similar sanctions on individuals or entities that provided material support to the ICC, sending a chilling message to those who dared to cooperate with the court. This created an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty among international legal practitioners and human rights advocates. The Trump administration defended its actions as necessary to protect American sovereignty and national security, arguing that the ICC's investigation into alleged war crimes in Afghanistan posed a direct threat to U.S. interests. They claimed that the court's actions were politically motivated and biased against the United States. "We will not tolerate its illegitimate attempts to subject Americans to its jurisdiction," then Secretary of State Mike Pompeo declared, vowing to use all means necessary to counter the ICC's dangerous actions. His statement was a clear indication of the administration's resolve to confront the court head-on. The decision to sanction the ICC represented a dramatic escalation of the U.S. quote, as long-standing hostility towards the court and drew widespread condemnation from international leaders, human rights groups, and legal experts. Critics argued that the sanctions undermined the principles of international law and accountability, who denounced it as an assault on global justice and a dangerous precedent that could undermine the rule of law. They warned that such actions could embolden other nations to defy international legal norms and weaken the global justice system, leading to a more fragmented and less effective international order. Section 5. Global Outcry and Defiance. The world reacts to Trump's actions. The Trump administration's decision to sanction the ICC sparked a wave of condemnation and outrage from the international community. World leaders, human rights organizations, and legal experts denounced the move as an unprecedented attack on global justice and a dangerous assault on the rule of law. The European Union, a staunch supporter of the ICC, expressed profound regret at the U.S. actions, calling them unacceptable and unjustified. The EU's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, stressed that the ICC plays a crucial role in holding perpetrators of the most serious crimes accountable, and vowed that the bloc would stand by the court in the face of U.S. pressure. Human Rights Watch condemned the Trump administration's sanctions as a full-blown attack on the ICC and a gift to tyrants around the world. Amnesty International called the move a stunning perversion of the idea of seeking justice and warned that it would embolden perpetrators of the worst crimes by signaling that they could act with impunity. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres expressed deep concern about the sanctions, emphasizing the ICC's essential role in ensuring accountability for serious international crimes. Guterres stressed that the UN fully supports the ICC and its efforts to end impunity for the world's worst atrocities.